Boker Tov, everyone. Rabbi Eric Solomon, Raleigh, North Carolina. A little morning Torah on this Friday. Parshat Yitro. We're in the Torah portion of the book of Exodus where we received the Torah, the Ten Commandments. And beautifully, it is actually named after Yitro, Jethro, the father-in-law of Moses, who helps give him guidance as Moses is working out his life and his leadership. Yitro has a huge influence. So quick teaching. In the Ten Commandments, in a famous moment on Mount Sinai, and smoke and fire and brimstone, and all the moment there of receiving the Torah, famously, Bnei Yisrael, the Jewish people, down below, as before Moshe even explains the entire, what Moshe's received, before it even happens, the people respond famously, Naaseh v'nishma. Naaseh, we will do, v'nishma, and we will hear or we will understand. So first the people say, we'll do it, and then we'll actually understand it. And what does that mean? So this has been a long, ongoing debate amongst the commentaries and the Talmud. Shouldn't we understand things before we do them? And what is the difference between study or thinking or listening and action? And just speaking very broadly, the Jewish take on this is the reason that our people said na'aseh first, we will do and then we'll understand, because the emphasis in our tradition, the Torah's teaching, is on action. Ultimately, it's about what you do, not just what you believe or even what you say. It's about what you do in the world. That's what matters, and that's what ultimately our tradition is pushing towards. Helping mold, develop our actions as best as possible, as we can do, as godlike as possible in the world. Na'aseh v'nishma. And this reminded me of a beautiful text I learned this past week with a class of mine, where the rabbis asked the famous question, what does it mean to love God? It says in the passage, V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, with all your might. But what does it mean to love God? What does it mean is it an emotional feeling? So one of the famous responses from the Talmud is, to love God is to make God beloved in the world. To love God is to show God in a good way. That people say, this person studied the Torah and they act better because of it. That's what it means to love God. To love God means to act and show that your learning about God in the Torah leads you to lead a moral and better life. Action is what matters. So I'll conclude with this. Sadly, in our world today, in the United States, Israel, other places, people show you how religious they are. How their diet, they keep kosher, they keep the Shabbat. I do a very, very careful in my practice of various rituals. Nothing's wrong with it, by the way. I find that very powerful. I practice them too. But don't tell me how religious you are. Don't tell me how much you fear God or love God. Don't tell me how kosher you are. Show me. Show me in your behavior, ben adam l'chavero, between human beings. Let me see. In fact, don't brag about it. Just be in the world, and let it be that your actions make God and the Torah beloved in the world. Don't tell me how much you practice, how much you believe. Show me how you treat the poor, the widow, the immigrant. Show me how you treat people you disagree with. Show me how you treat God's creatures, all of them. Show me in the way you drive your car, in the way you handle the pandemic, in the way you behave with your local supermarket. Show me, na'aseh. Show me your behavior, and through that, I will see that you're a God-fearing person. Your actions will be the proof in the pudding. So when we receive the Ten Commandments, yes, it's a moment of faith in the story and receiving, but ultimately it's about our action. That's what we're striving for. To show the Torah in its best light, the God in its best light, means that we act in our best light. Wishing all of us a commitment to action, better action in our world in this Shabbat and the week to come. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.